Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Snow. My co-anchor Zinkley Asamoah is off today. NBC News Daily starts right now. In today's Daily Health, have you ever read a fascinating book or watched a gripping documentary and you feel so educated and informed, and then you seem to forget nearly everything within a few days? The same goes for names, hotel room numbers, movie plots. Me. You've experienced what research calls the forgetting curve. It demonstrates just how quickly we forget information over time. And joining us now to explain it all is Ruth Godian. She's Chief Learning Officer and Associate Professor of Education at Weill Cornell Medicine. Good to see you again.
So good to be here.
We just showed, let me also mention the author of the book called Why We Forget, or the article, Why We Quickly Forget So Much of What We Learn, yes, which I think so many of us can relate to. So for starters, Ruth, describe what we just showed, the forgetting curve, and how does that, you say it's kind of like a cousin of the learning curve?
Yeah, it's that mean cousin that we don't like of the learning curve. The learning curve is how quickly we learn a new skill.
Right.
The forgetting curve is how quickly we forget the new information that we just got. So we want to have tools in order to remember things, so we don't have to always take pictures of our hotel room or locker room or locker number.
Yeah, that is so me. So what are factors that are contributing to our forgetting?
So we tend to forget because we have information overload, and it's worse now than it used to be because we are watching television, we have our laptop open, we have our phone open, we're constantly getting new information, and it's being thrown at us, but we don't take the time to reflect on it and do anything with it. So we have all this information that's thrown in our brain, and you know that messy pile on your desk? That's what's going on in your head.
So what can we do? What are some techniques to help us retain or remember?
So the first thing you need to do is, if you've been highlighting and underlining all the time, that is step 1A, right? So step 1B is you need to take what you've just heard, what you've just learned, and write it in your own words. And this is a way to really help retain that information. The next thing you want to do is, I've just learned all this new information. How do I use it in my own life? How does it relate to what my life, my career, my work? Third is, this is the key piece that most people don't do. They'll do the reflection, but they don't do the application. And you want to apply what you've just learned. Rinse and repeat.
Like apply, like talk about it with a friend or something like that?
So for example, let's say you have just learned negotiation skills, right? You've seen a video.
Go negotiate.
And then first you want to say, well, how does this relate to my life? Do I want to negotiate a higher salary? Do I want to negotiate a better price on a house I want to buy? Or do I want to negotiate a vacation destination with my family? And then once you figure that out, you start to apply it and practice it.
Just quickly, can you talk about memories or life experiences and remembering those versus remembering facts or a movie? Are they different?
Well, remember, when it happens to you personally, and this is why you remember everything about where you were when something happened,
right,
because there's an emotional trigger to that. But some of the other things, the movies, the books, that's more passive learning. And what we want to try to do is turn the passive learning into active learning, because when we can make that transition, we retain the information and then we can recall it.
We lead such busy lives. Can you leave us with one final tip?
Yes, I want everyone, I'm hoping that people can rewind this so that they can remember the tips of recall what you just learned, write it in your own words, reflect on how you can use it in your own life, and then go and apply it.
All right. I will post it on social media so everyone can click and then rewind and watch it over and over. Ruth Godian, great to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
There is much more news ahead. You're watching NBC News Daily.